I would probably take an average 1-2 grinder playing his A game over an average 25-50 grinder playing his C game any day.
You're listening to the Mindset Advantage podcast. Each week, you'll get to peek inside the greatest minds in the game and discover what makes them successful.
Mental toughness separates those that can't handle the stress.
If you're going to treat it like an amateur, you're probably going to have amateur results.
Now here's your host, Elliot Rowe.
Hey, Elliot Rowe here. I'm very excited to announce that for the next few episodes, Stephen Baker will be guest hosting the show. Stephen has experience both as a professional poker player, strategic coach, and now a member of my mindset performance coaching world. I can confidently say that Stephen's one of the world's leading experts in poker mindset and performance, and I'm really excited to hear the conversations he has with some fantastic guests. And with that, here's Stephen.
Welcome to the Mindset Advantage podcast. My guest on today's podcast is Andrijana Gligoric. Andrijana's got a huge following on Twitch, and she's an incredibly good and honest streamer. She's very open about her game, and she's very open, as you'll find in today's podcast, about the challenges she's faced on a professional and personal level. So without further ado, let's get to it and hear what Andrijana is going to share, which is of value to everybody. So Andrijana, welcome. So excited and pleased to get you on the podcast. You'll be familiar to many of our listeners and viewers, but for those who aren't, please just introduce yourself, who you are, how we can find you online.
Hello, and thank you so much for having me as your guest. Well, for somebody that doesn't know me, I'm Andrijana, but my nickname on every social media is Call Me Leah. Why Leah? Because in my mother language it means fox. So like I told you, now people have probably more reason to call me fox because my head is really red.
That's right. Relatively new innovation, that one, but yeah, absolutely fits in with the name. So let's just take it now a couple of steps back from where you are today. Tell us about how you first got into poker. What was your life before poker? And how did you develop an interest, and how did you get from those first hands you ever played to where you are now?
So basically, it's really funny story. I was studying programming in high school and also in college. I was about to become a programmer, a software engineer. And honestly, I really liked it. But I found my passion in poker. And how it started, it was when I was in college. Some of my friends were organizing some cash games. And I was so interested in that because by spirit, I'm really adventurous person and I like to always learn something new. So I asked them, can I help them somehow because I'm really interested. So I started organizing some games with them. And basically, I was not ever playing those games. I was just collecting profiles of people that want to play cash games, and I was studying that. So that's how I was first introduced into poker. But I think main point was when I moved in Malta with my boyfriend, and everybody there was like either playing poker, streaming casino, and I honestly loved so much the feeling of the community they had with people. I love that. I'm really a team player. I love working with people and sharing my journey with people. So I kind of like found my meaning in that journey. So I started playing poker, and it was really annoying for people in the first 6 months because I was just clicking buttons. I didn't know anything, and I was just clicking buttons. But slowly but surely, I started working with my coach, Jared Alderman, and I learned a few skills. So here we are.
Absolutely. So, I mean, obviously, you know, from the technical viewpoint, you've developed and you continue to develop in poker. What about the mental game? Because there's lots of aspects for everybody in terms of the mental game. And that's what we're really interested in on this podcast, the mindset and the performance side. But you've got the additional challenge, which I think a lot of people find super challenging, of your game being put out there in front of I think you've got, it's about 45,000 Instagram followers. I mean, everybody can watch everything you're doing. And I know that a lot of people on streams are not slow to tell you what they think of your play, not yours specifically, anybody's. Tell me about that. Tell me about the mental game challenges and how you found that.
So, really interesting question. I really love that you asked me this, because I think it's a really important one. There was, by becoming an influencer and putting myself out there a lot, with all the support that I have and with everybody that is along my side in this journey, which I'm super grateful for, there also comes a pressure to not fail people, to always come on the stream being happy even in moments where I'm not feeling it, and to kind of like not suppress my emotions, but to forget everything what is happening outside and just be there for my people and for my community, because I want to make their day. You know, I just want to show up and like I always say, crush the stream.
Yeah.
So. I will say that doing that like for a long time, it definitely made me more present with my emotions and present with how I'm feeling, and that is okay to show like sometimes when I'm not the happiest person in the world.
Yeah.
And I think people really appreciate that, because they can say, okay, but I'm feeling also like that today, and they are free to tell me their problems and like what is happening, and we can like all joke about it and like do stuff. But honestly, I think let's say the biggest obstacle was to overcome the fear of failure, because when you're constantly out there, sometimes you will challenge some periods where you are not willing to show up, like you're not willing to put any more that much information about your life, and that is completely fine. But sometimes we also developed a fear of failure. I don't post one day, I failed my people, I failed people around me. So I think I'm working still on that, and I think it's really, really important thing, like to, I guess, accept the way I am.
That's really interesting, because in that way, I think your commitments as a streamer, it's a sort of double-edged sword, because in one sense it keeps you accountable. You know, a lot of professional poker players have trouble putting in the volume, but you've got the additional pressure of, hey, you know, if I don't turn up, everybody knows it, and you know, they are my people, and obviously there's a benefit for you for being in front of them, but equally, it's sometimes smart advice to say, if you're not really feeling it, let's say you're not feeling at your physical best or your mental best, it's sometimes not the worst advice to say, let's skip this session. But
Exactly.
then you feel that pressure. How do you balance that, you know, to make sure that you are still playing well, you're doing the right things, but you're also having to balance, you know, being out there for your followers?
So basically, I started working a lot on myself and on the mental game. I felt really guilty when I didn't show up, and I started like asking myself why I don't feel guilty, because I thought that I'm only worth it when I'm working, when I'm putting myself out there. So that was the reason. And I needed to learn how to not feel that much of a guilt, and to learn that I'm also human, and it's okay to feel emotions and not show up sometimes if I really don't feel like doing it. So yeah.
That's a really healthy mindset. And yeah, I can absolutely see that. Having watched your stream, you know, you convey that positivity, but you don't seem to be at all fazed by, I think you are taking the positive sides of streaming and actually using it as a power for the good of your game, which is fantastic. In terms of any mental game techniques, any thought processes which you could share with people, what would be perhaps the best bits of advice, maybe not for somebody specifically going into streaming, but by all means add something there, but just general mental game approaches, techniques you've used?
So I used the best thing that I used was a method to accept my feelings in the moment and to let myself feel, to not suppress my emotions in any kind of situation, which helped me tremendously in the game. When I was on the table, when I was playing, okay, I feel angry, let myself feel angry. Just be there and be angry and be okay with it. And once I'm aware of that feeling, everything becomes so easy. I'm not pressuring myself to spew money or to, do something that I will not be proud of. And basically just being acceptance. I would say acceptance of who I am. Yeah.
That's an incredibly powerful way of viewing things. And in fact, it's a really interesting one, because one of the most common emotions that poker players feel at the table is stress and anxiety. And it also happens in other competitive fields. And there's been some incredibly powerful work done on this by Dr. Alia Crum at Stanford University. Mm-hmm. And it's actually been shown that when you get into a flow state in the opening seconds, you actually do feel that sense of autonomic arousal, of anxiety. In other words, it can be the gateway to high performance of a flow state. Mm-hmm. If you accept it, and if you say, wait a minute, this is my brain telling me this is a challenge which is important. Now I'm going to use it, rather than thinking, oh my God, I'm feeling stressed. I don't want to feel stressed. I must resist that feeling. And there was she did an amazing study, and she took two groups, and she gave one group lots of negative messaging around feeling anxious, and the other group positive messaging around how anxiety was your brain trying to help you and can help you. And the results between the two groups and the way they framed their responses, the way they felt, their ability to think clearly, and even human growth hormone in the second group, who framed anxiety as a positive thing, actually grew. So that ability to say, hey, it's okay to feel the way I am, I'm going to channel it for the good, is a really powerful way of framing it. So that's a great piece of advice for everybody. Anything specific you would add maybe about the challenges of streaming? I mean, that piece of advice is useful whether you're streaming or not. But is there anything specific that you'd say to somebody who's maybe looking to replicate your journey? What piece of advice might you give them?
Okay, I would definitely give them advice to trust the process and to put in the discipline and work to hit up the chair. I would say that. And to not judge their results. Yeah, to not judge their results based on 1 month of hard work, because you need to show up there. You need to know what you want. You don't need to specifically know what you want, but at least to have passion for work and to just show up every day and have fun. Try to have fun, really, because this is what you are doing and you should have fun while doing it.
Fantastic. Yeah, great. And
I would say just
Yeah, no, that's great. And in terms of where you're now, your current goals in poker, tell me a little bit about that. I know you're in Rozvadov at the moment for the WSOPE. Tell me a bit about that, and tell me about what your goals are going forwards.
Okay, so I'm now mostly online poker player, and what I'm trying to do now is to play and put more hours into live plays, to try something new, because as we all know, sometimes we all want to face new challenges and to find ourselves in new environments. And what I'm doing now is really, I will not say hard, but it's completely another environment. Okay, nobody can see me when I'm playing online poker, but now everybody can see me, and I'm exposed. So that's what I'm working on now. But my goals are to continue to play online poker, to climb up stakes, to also continue playing live poker. I'm going in Vegas in 1 month, and I'm going to stay there for 1 month and a half, and mainly play cash games and vlog. This is my huge goal also, to become, I started already posting everything of my vlogs and some of new videos that I'm filming for YouTube. I really love YouTube and I really love filming videos. So I hope it's going to be a success. I'm vlogging and I'm sharing my journey, and also by doing something that I think like nobody is now currently doing. I'm doing some fun ways to connect people outside of the poker to explain them what I'm doing. So basically, like when I'm filming videos, I'm not ever going like deep into theory and like deep into something that people outside of the poker will not understand. And I'm trying basically to say to people like why poker is like amazing, why it's learned me so much about life, and why it's like cool to play poker. So yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. No, that's fantastic. Yeah. In that sense, you're an ambassador for the whole game and developing and bringing a new audience in, which is great for everybody. Let's just take a step back to what you said about that transition from online to live. I think that's a challenge for many people. I know it was a challenge for me. I think probably I played live poker first, but literally like a tournament or two. Most of it was online. And then when I came to live, I did find it challenging. Really interesting to hear what you found the challenging aspects of transitioning from online to live. Tell me a little bit about that. What have been the most difficult things from you, and how have you combated those?
Yeah, okay. So first of all, like I think the main challenge and main obstacle was when I know that I'm online poker player, but when I'm in a live environment, I didn't know like what should I do with my chips. I was completely lost because everything is in cash, and online I'm playing in big blinds, blinds. And I was constantly thinking, oh my God, like people will think that I'm stupid, what I'm doing with like these chips. I'm not concentrated. When it's my turn, I forget it. So basically it was probably anxiety around those things.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. Yeah. I mean, just the sheer conversion meant the constant mental calculation, particularly in a tournament, of how many chips,
Exactly.
how many big blinds is that? Whereas it's normally just presented to you on a plate online. So yeah, absolutely. No.
Yeah, yeah. And when I learned like that,
yeah, no, go ahead.
yeah, when I learned, sorry. So basically, when I learned and when I noticed that nobody cares, like literally nobody cares, like it was like I felt so much more relaxed, definitely.
Absolutely. I mean, half the time nobody's even really concentrating. They're on their phones, they're listening to their music, whatever. Yeah, absolutely. Now, I'm just interested because beyond challenging yourself within poker, you've set up a fitness challenge and you've put that out there. Again, you've held yourself very public, very accountable to everybody. Just share with us what your fitness challenge is, when you started it, and where you're up to.
Okay, yeah. So I wanted to do that challenge for a long time, and that's exactly why, because I'm accountable. I wanted to show people like that what you can do with being disciplined and showing up for yourself, mainly because of my health, of course. I stopped. So the rules of the challenge are I've stopped drinking alcohol, like no alcohol at all, for 6 months. I started going in gym 4 to 5 times a week, and I have a really healthy, strict diet. Not strict in means I cannot like eat anything. It's just that I have a certain amount of calories that I'm able to intake, and like certain amount of steps also. So it was definitely challenging. It is challenging because I'm constantly traveling. I'm traveling a lot. And
Yeah.
I think it's really hard like to maintain some kind of routine. But thankfully, I'm in hotel. I'm every time in hotel, so there is a gym. No excuses.
Yeah. I mean, the steps challenge, how many steps are you trying to do a day as a matter of interest? Because that can be the challenging bit, just moving a lot as a poker
Yeah.
player. When
Exactly.
Yeah. How many steps?
It is challenging.
Yeah. How many steps?
I take around 6,000 to 10,000 a day. Like 10,000 is really hard to achieve, definitely. But I like to go on a treadmill or just like take a walk outside. Or for example, if I don't fulfill the steps for today, then I will do like about like less than double tomorrow.
Yeah, I think that's a really healthy and actually quite achievable target for a lot of poker players. I mean, I realize if you're playing, for example, in a live tournament, you are going to struggle to have much opportunities. But I do think it's very healthy during a break, for example, rather than sitting inside, to maybe try and get outside for a few minutes, get some sunlight, get your body moving. But I think that's a really good target. The other aspects, the gym aspects, all of this is beneficial. I mean, one of the interesting things about resistance training is it's been shown to actually develop matter in the brain. So it's actually not just developing your body, but it's also developing your brain power. And like I'd say to anybody listening to this, I mean, for example, it's been shown that exercises where you move up and down, like press-ups, squats, which of course you can do without a gym, they have been specifically shown to improve your cognition. So, if you're about to play a tournament and you haven't got much time, do 20 squats, 20 press-ups in your room. You will be helping your body and your mind. So again, I think it's really great that somebody who is in your position is showing that poker is a sport where you can, and shoot where you can and you should, and you will benefit from it. Look after your mind as well as your body. That's really fantastic. It's quite the challenge. If anybody's interested, go and look on Andrijana's Instagram, and she sets it all out. And it is quite a challenge. I'm full of admiration for what you're doing. How is the nutrition aspect holding up? That was something I wanted to talk about specifically, because there's a couple of aspects for that. If you're on quite restricted calories, it can challenge your energy levels. Are you finding that energy is an issue, or is the level of calories about right to maintain you at a good level of energy for when you're playing?
So, like, through the years, I was experimenting a lot because also when I was studying programming, I was in fitness industry. I was going to become a fitness influencer, and I was like on site studying a lot about nutrition and exercises. So I'm now not on a strict diet where I'm intaking a low amount of calories. I'm just on a strict diet. So when it comes to like, I'm on cutting a bit, like I'm cutting my intake of calories, number of calories, but for a small amount. Like I never go something that will change my energy levels that much, or that it will crush me through the day. I think that's really not the way to go. And instead of like taking some food that is like really high in calories, I will just eat a lot of protein.
That's fantastic. I mean, great advice there. Protein, satiating, good for body composition. And yes, and it will keep you going. I mean, I had a phase where I had a fitness trainer who wanted me to cut quite significantly, and I found that my energy levels dropped a lot. It's really hard. Whereas that more gradualist approach is definitely the way to go. Fantastic. So now you are playing live, now you're playing online. Do you have a set routine? Any routines to get yourself ready to play, to get yourself in the right state of mind, to get yourself mentally and technically and physically prepared?
Yeah, so I do have, definitely. And I think now in poker, most of the people have the technical knowledge, like they have like big technical knowledge, but most, like, not, I will not say most of them, but many of them don't have strict mental approach to the game. And I think that's so important to work on with a coach or with somebody. Like it's really it changed my life, basically. It changed my life, and I would definitely recommend people going exploring that niche. So what I would do, it's not just one thing, I guess. It's like everything about what makes me healthy and what makes me perform better. So I would say I need to get some sleep. I need to sleep at least 8 hours. My nutrition, I usually don't eat a lot before I'm playing, because my whole body will just concentrate on processing the food, not on the game, and I will feel sleepy. So I would just like eat way less. Like I would just not eat 1 hour before I'm playing, and I meditate. I meditate in the night and in the day and through the day also. What I'm trying to do is, for example, I hate cleaning my apartment. Like, I hate it. Like, literally, I hate it so much. But I learned how to like it a bit. The way I'm doing it is I will not listen to music. I will not listen to any podcast. This is like a small tip that I was given. Don't listen to anything, just concentrate on cleaning the apartment. So you're there, you're like, okay, I'm wiping now like the surface of this, and I would feel so calm, like incredibly calm. And that's like, I was so blown away because one chore in a day can teach me so much. And basically I would what helped me with the game is like to be present with most of the things that I'm doing through the day. And I would meditate, and basically that's and also working like with mental coach, constantly reading, constantly like educating myself in that direction.
Fantastic. Yeah. And I mean, you touched on the most important point of all for physical and mental performance, and sleep. Sleep regulates our dopamine, which is a motivation neurochemical. It regulates our concentration, and it's remarkable how that is often thrown under the bus by people when they're looking for performance upgrades, and yet it is the most important thing. And by the way, on fitness, I mean that's where our recovery happens, our physical recovery. And you're doing good resistance work. You'll know, as somebody who is almost on the verge of becoming a fitness trainer, personal trainer, that is absolutely vital to actually maximize those gains in the gym and turn them into real growth. That's fantastic. So
exactly.
That's really great that you've developed this consistent warm-up routine. I also love the bit about the mindfulness when you're cleaning, and that sense of being present. That is, you're actually using that then as training for when you are actually playing, I guess, because that ability to be really present is really key, and it's one of the things I think a lot of people struggle with. So that's a great routine. Tell us
exactly.
Yeah, tell us a little bit more now about the longer term. Is poker going to be your long-term vision? Is it always going to be poker, or do you see yourself expanding your presence beyond poker?
So for now, I see myself definitely in poker, and on the side, I'm still like in poker niche. I'm doing like some projects with big companies, and I'm finding myself in project management. And because like I'm a person who likes organizing, and I love everything, like just to be in a place where I can see the whole project. And like I said, I really love working with people and being in a team. So on the long term, I definitely see myself as continuing to be the poker influencer and to really push the study and play.
That's great. So, Andrijana, you've talked about showing up as a real person and showing the real you when you stream, and that's very engaging. It's also very honest, and it can be hard at times. Would you be able to share with us what has been your biggest mental challenge, the kind of things which are the real you, which can be very hard to share? Could you just tell us a little bit about that mental aspect?
Yes, definitely. So I wanted to also share with everybody that is listening and watching to this that we as influencers and like other people, we are showing 3 seconds of our lives on social media, especially on Instagram and on like Twitter and other social media where we are not live. We are showing like 3 seconds of our lives, and that doesn't mean that we don't feel other emotions like and going through like various situations like depression, anxiety, especially when, like I said, having a pressure to be not perfect, but like to just show up there for people. And I think that was my biggest struggle when I was trying to not feel guilty. So what happened? It was that I suppressed my emotions and I kept showing up when I was not ready to show up, when I was not feeling to be there. I kept doing that. Eventually, I burned out and fell into the depression and developed an anxiety. I developed health anxiety. So I think that's like everything was so well connected, and I'm honestly like so thankful for all journey that I've been experiencing because it taught me how to become a better human and how to explore what it means to be human. So I think working constantly on your mental game and how to let yourself feel even the depression and anxiety, because it's okay. It's really okay to feel everything of that. We need to suffer sometimes to really realize what we have in life and what is, I guess, like what everything in life is beautiful. So yeah, I wanted just like to share that it's completely fine to think that somebody's life is like perfect, but it's actually not. So yeah.
I mean, it's been said before, but it is easily forgotten that what we see on social media is a very small percentage of the reality. I mean, in terms of the steps you've taken to address the issues, what would you advise people? Is there anything you can share about how you address these issues? Because the great thing is you're showing to people, you're an aspirational figure, but you're showing to other people the reality, and it can be a painful reality at times. Is there anything you could share with them about how you addressed it and how you'd advise anybody else who's feeling depression and anxiety, how they would go about it?
Definitely. I would say, and with this, I'm talking also to my old self, to rest. Just like take a moment and rest. You're exactly where you need to be, and it's okay. You have like time, you have everything, and just step by step. No rush. Good rush and good pressure are completely fine, but pressuring yourself and constantly questioning your self-worth if you don't show up is bad. Is really bad. So I would definitely say that, and sleep. Sleep well, like sleep 8 to 9 hours a day. That's like so important.
Absolutely. I mean, if there was one piece of advice I would hope that comes out in every podcast, it may get a little boring, but I think it's so important. Sleep is so important to our physical and mental health. And thank you so much for sharing all of that. Just finally, where can everybody find you? Can you just tell us briefly where we can find you streaming on Instagram?
Yeah, definitely. So I have like every single social media that is out there that is like well used by people everywhere, on Instagram, on YouTube, on Twitch. I'm streaming on Twitch, on Twitter, and on TikTok. My nickname is Call Me Leah. So it's not Call Me Leisha. I think like most of the people confuse it by that. Pronouncing it like that, it's like Leah with J. So yeah.
Okay. Well, what we will do for everybody listening and watching, we will put links in the show notes, and definitely check Andrijana out there. Well, Andrijana, I just want to say thank you. I know you're incredibly busy. There you are in Rozvadov. You've managed to create some time for us to share all of your thoughts with us. Really grateful. And thank you so much. And best of luck for the rest of Rozvadov and going forwards. Great to speak to you. Thank you again.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much for having me as your guest. I really enjoyed the conversation.
That's great. Thanks, Andrijana. So thank you again to Andrijana for being so open and generous with her time and thoughts. I hope you enjoyed her company as much as I did, and I look forward to seeing you next time on the Mindset Advantage podcast. Thanks very much. Bye-bye.
You've been listening to the Mindset Advantage podcast. To get future episodes delivered to you automatically, make sure to subscribe via iTunes, Stitcher, or your favorite podcasting service. To get any resources mentioned in the episode or to listen to past shows, visit pokermindcoach.com/TMA podcast. Thanks for listening.